Hey guys, this is Alex and Ashley from Mountain View Homestead.
And we are in Alaska.
Alaska.
So we took a cruise. It's a 7-day cruise. We spent a little time in Seattle and we went to Mount Rainier.
Yep.
Rainier?
I think it's Rainier.
Rainier.
Committing.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, we really like mountains and national parks. So we actually have one of these Passport National Park books, and since Alex and I started dating, we've been going around trying to collect the stamps. So you basically buy, every year they come out with a set of stickers, and you can put the stickers here, and then when you visit the park or monument, you can get a stamp with the date.
I'm gonna show them this one.
Okay, here's one we got.
So that one's stamped.
Oh. So yeah, I'll show you the date that you went and then what park it's at. And every stamp looks, I wanna focus.
And we're back.
Every stamp looks a little different. So Alex and I probably have like, what, 20-ish stamps
At least.
out of this book. So there are pocket-sized books that you can get, but Alex and I prefer this giant big book. As much as it is a pain to carry around, it does have more spots for stamps. And you also have extra pages. We actually did. There's extra pages for additional stamps because some parks have more than one stamp.
Yeah, so they'll have different, like if it's a special holiday, like we went to a few during the National Park Service's Centennial in 2016, and so a lot of them had like a special stamp for that, so we got a few extras.
Yeah. So on this trip in total, we got 3 stamps. You just saw the Glacier Bay one, which we went to Glacier Bay today. So our cruise line, not all cruises will go to Glacier Bay, and our cruise line actually picked up a few park rangers at the base, the entrance to the bay.
Yeah.
And they brought their stamps. And we were able to get a stamp because we did go into like the national park while on the boat. But we didn't get off the boat.
But yeah, we've been to a few different cities in Alaska, and surprise, surprise, we've done a few hikes up mountains and taken in a lot of the sites, specifically the glaciers and whale watching tours. And we've been having a pretty good time.
Yeah, so we did do I'll just show like a photo montage of some of the stuff we've done so far.
Yeah.
We did whale watching, land and sea photo safari, and we saw a few, are they humpbacks?
Yep.
Humpback whales.
Yeah, we were on a boat on a whale watching tour, and everyone was watching for the spout from the humpback whales that shoot up pretty high in the air. And then we would just speed over there. We would get some dorsal fin as well as the tail when they dove under. So we have a few pictures of each of those. And then after that, we got to hike on a trail that led to this overpass where you got to see this really cool glacier.
Yeah, and we also, this is my first time ever seeing a porcupine, and I told the tour guide, I asked him a few questions about porcupines because I got it in my head that I was determined to see a porcupine on this trip, and the tour guide actually led us to an area where porcupines are typically hanging around, and I didn't realize they can climb pretty high. So we saw them a little, like really high up in the trees, and here's a crappy shot of a porcupine because it was so far away I had to zoom in. So yeah, that was really cool. We saw a few bald eagles.
Yep.
And then The next day we went to a place called Skagway, and that's actually the Klondike National Park.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to get a national park stamp in Skagway.
Also a very cool surprise.
Yeah. We had booked 2 excursions that day, so our biggest worry was like, oh no, the visitor center where the stamp is may not be open when we come back from either, but we ended up having like a 2-hour time in between to do some shopping, which we got this really cool blanket.
Super soft.
And
some other souvenirs.
Some souvenirs, and then the stamp. So the first excursion in Skagway was
puppies.
Snow sledding, snow mushing, snow dog.
Iditarod training dogs.
Yeah. And they don't look like your average like husky that you would expect.
What's that breed that they reminded me of?
I don't know, they're a lot smaller, but the dogs went crazy. Here's a clip of them when we all arrived. They knew they were about to go like mushing, so they got so excited and so loud. But yeah, here's a clip of that. And then we got to play with the puppies, so they did a little presentation on the, what's the race?
The Iditarod.
Iditarod race, and then we got to play with the puppies that were born on July 2nd. So here's a few photos of that.
Yep, and the puppies we were actually holding are a litter from one of the lead dogs for an Iditarod team, which was very cool.
Yeah, so then the second excursion we went to in Skagway is a glass blowing and garden tour. Something called Jules Gardens, and they have a glass blowing workshop there. So we got some mimosas with rhubarb from the garden. We got to take a tour of the gardens, and then got to see them do some glass blowing. So the first thing they made was like a bowl, and then the second was a glass bear. And they threw beeswax into the mouth of the bear, which made it seem like the bear is breathing fire. But what it ended up actually doing too is like when you do that, it cracks the glass, so no one could end up purchasing the bear, and they'd have to like remelt the glass down and reuse it. But that was really cool. We didn't get anything from that because it was really expensive. But it was a cool experience. So we did see some bees in the garden, and then
yeah, that was it.
That's about it.
Yeah, they sell all their produce at an organic market in Skagway. We weren't able to try any of their produce, unfortunately, but I mean, I guess the main interesting thing was that their rhubarb is completely green, whereas traditionally it's got this red stalk.
And then today is a at sea day, and that's when we did the Glacier Bay stuff. So when we picked up the park rangers, they talked and did a presentation on the boat, and then they kind of narrated our passage through the bay and saw the particular icebergs and glaciers.
Oh, we even got to see, what was it called? Not a cavern, when the glacier just kind of like falls off the side.
It was like a bittersweet moment because not many people get to see the actual glacier fall into the water, but it also means the glacier is kind of
dying,
which is really sad.
Yep.
Something for me. Yeah, here. Oh, that's awesome. There it goes. 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 But yeah, so we actually did. The boat offered a photo shoot Glacier Bay, and so Alex and I were one of the first ones to get our photos done.
We were the first ones to get our photos done.
We signed up because this is such a unique experience, and we wanted to
Capture it.
And so the photos you're looking at are taken in front of Marjorie's glacier, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look, but that sounds right.
Yeah. I believe it was Marjorie's. Yeah, Marjorie's glacier. And then, yep, so tomorrow we've got Ketchikan, and then we go to, we don't have any excursions.
We're just gonna kick around the city.
Eat some seafood. And then we've got Victoria, British Columbia. And then we're back in Seattle. So yeah, this cruise has been pretty awesome.
I would definitely come back to Alaska. I mean, we have to finish our national parks.
Yeah, there's a lot of national parks we did not get to go to. And I probably wouldn't come back on a cruise.
No, it'd be cool to like do a private boat thingy, or it's not a very drivable state, which is the issue. So we'd have to do like a private boat thing or something. But yeah, the cruise is a little overwhelming, and it limits our ability to kind of travel as far out as we'd like.
Yeah, and I don't do well with the motion.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. Like, I'm very sensitive to motion, and I have felt this boat move the entire time. The first couple of days were the worst because it was really hard to get used to it. But yeah, we would show you outside our balcony.
It's super foggy right now.
But you can't see anything. Here's a photo montage of pictures that we have taken off our balcony.
But yeah, so we should be back home by Monday, and then we'll get to evaluate how all the animals in the garden are doing, which we're both very anxious about.
Yeah, my mom pulled a lot of produce from our garden, and
yeah, it's probably all bad by now.
So anxious to get back to it.
Yeah.
And I miss the babies, the Gizmo and Vader, so much. But
yeah, so we should be back making normal videos. We'll probably do like an update on how everything went once we get back. And yeah, otherwise we will see you guys when we get home.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thanks guys.
See ya.